13 black celebrities who haven't aged at all after 30 years. What if we told you some of Hollywood's biggest black stars look almost the same today as they did decades ago, while the rest of us watch the years leave their mark? Celebrities like Angela Bassett, Pharrell Williams, Halle Berry, and Bianca Lawson seem to have made time move a little slower. Compare their photographs from the 1990s with today, and some transformations are almost unbelievable. Is it genetics, disciplined fitness, expensive skincare, or something far simpler than fans imagine? Stay with us, because a few of their real ages may genuinely surprise you. Before we begin, subscribe to Golden Black Legends and tell us in the comments which black celebrity do you believe has aged the least. Now let's turn back the clock. Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett has spent more than 3 decades in Hollywood, yet when photographs from the early 1990s are placed beside images of her today, the passage of time can seem remarkably gentle. Her unforgettable breakthrough came with What's Love Got to Do with It in 1993, when her powerful portrayal of Tina Turner earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress. She was already in her mid-30s, yet the strength, elegance, and commanding presence audiences remember from that performance remains strikingly familiar decades later. From Waiting to Exhale and How Stella Got Her Groove, back to Black Panther 911 and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Bassett has continued working at a level many performers struggle to sustain. What makes her story more impressive is that her youthful appearance has never been the only reason audiences admire her. Bassett has consistently spoken about discipline, exercise, nutrition, and taking care of herself, while also acknowledging professional skincare. But there is no credible evidence for the magical explanations sometimes attached to celebrities who appear younger than their years. Genetics, lifestyle, professional beauty care, lighting, makeup, and photography can all influence what audiences see. Bassett married actor Courtney B. Vance in 1997, and in 2006 they welcomed twins Bronwyn and Slater through a gestational surrogate. Her family life developed alongside an extraordinary career that continued reaching new milestones rather than slowing down. In 2023, Black Panther Wakanda Forever brought Bassett another Academy Award nomination, this time for Supporting Actress. She later received an honorary Academy Award. That longevity is the real wonder. Angela Bassett has not defeated time, nobody does. She has simply moved through it with extraordinary consistency, discipline, confidence, and grace. And after more than 30 years in the spotlight, the resemblance between the woman audiences admired then and the woman they see today remains genuinely remarkable. Pharrell Williams. Pharrell Williams has inspired the same question for years. How can someone spend decades in the public eye and appear to change so little? Long before Happy turned him into a household name around the world, Pharrell was already shaping popular music behind the scenes. Born in Virginia Beach in 1973, he rose alongside Chad Hugo as the Neptunes, producing records that helped define the sound of late 1990s and 2000s hip-hop, R&B, and pop. Look at photographs of Pharrell from that era and compare them with his appearances more than 2 decades later, and the resemblance is difficult to ignore. His career evolved while his appearance seemed unusually consistent. The Neptunes worked with major artists across genres, while Pharrell also became part of NERD. His unmistakable voice appeared on records of his own before 2013 brought another extraordinary wave of success. He featured on Daft Punk's Get Lucky and Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines, then released Happy, which became a global phenomenon and reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Naturally, his youthful appearance became an internet obsession. Pharrell has publicly discussed skincare, including cleansing and exfoliation, and has credited advice from model Naomi Campbell with encouraging him to take better care of his skin. But claims that he possesses some mysterious anti-aging secret should remain jokes rather than facts. Genetics, consistent skincare, lifestyle, grooming, and professional presentation offer far more reasonable explanations. Even more remarkable is how Pharrell continued reinventing himself. Music producer, performer, entrepreneur, and fashion figure, his career expanded rather than becoming trapped in nostalgia. In 2023, he became Louis Vuitton's men's creative director. That may be the most fascinating part of his longevity. Pharrell does not simply remind people of the late 1990s, he continues participating in contemporary culture. The music changed, fashion changed, and generations changed around him, yet somehow when the photographs are placed side by side, Pharrell Williams still looks astonishingly familiar. Nia Long. Nia Long has been appearing on American screens for more than 3 decades, yet photographs from the 1990s placed beside recent images reveal remarkably familiar features. Born in Brooklyn in 1970, Long gained early attention as Will Smith's girlfriend and later fiancée Lisa Wilkes on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Her profile grew through films such as Boys N, The Hood, Friday, Love Jones, Soul Food, and The Best Man. For audiences who came of age during that period, Long became one of the defining black actresses of 1990s cinema, and her youthful appearance decades later has frequently inspired admiration. What makes the comparison especially striking is the amount of time involved. Boys and the Hood arrived in 1991, Friday in 1995, and Love Jones in 1997. More than a quarter century later, Long remains immediately recognizable. Her face has naturally matured, but the smile, expressive eyes, and overall presence that audiences remember have remained remarkably consistent. Her life away from the camera has included challenges as well as success. Long became a mother in 2000 and welcomed her second son in 2011. She has continued acting while navigating the pressures that come with decades of public attention. Rather than pretending aging does not exist, Long has spoken over the years about beauty wellness and accepting herself as she grows older. There is no credible reason to attribute her appearance to mysterious anti-aging secrets. Genetics, skincare, professional styling, fitness, and healthy habits can all contribute, while makeup and lighting also affect celebrity photographs. Perhaps that is why Long remains so fascinating to longtime fans. Watching her today can feel like reconnecting with the 1990s. The years have passed, her career has evolved, and life has brought changes. But Nia Long still carries the warmth and unmistakable presence audiences first fell in love with decades ago. Morris Chestnut. For viewers who remember seeing Morris Chestnut as Ricky Baker in Boys and the Hood, comparing that young actor from 1991 with the man appearing on television today can be genuinely surprising. Born in Cerritos, California in 1969, Chestnut was only in his early 20s when John Singleton's landmark film introduced him to a massive audience. Ricky's heartbreaking fate made Chestnut unforgettable, but instead of becoming permanently associated with one role, he built a career spanning more than 3 decades and somehow maintained an appearance remarkably close to the leading man audiences remember. Chestnut became a familiar presence in films, including The Best Man, The Brothers, Two Can Play That Game Like Mike, and The Best Man Holiday. Television later gave him another chapter through projects such as Rosewood the Resident and other dramatic roles. Through changing hairstyles and fashion trends, his athletic build and youthful features became almost as frequently discussed by fans as his performances. Yet there is nothing supernatural about his longevity. Chestnut has long maintained a strong interest in fitness and physical conditioning. He even collaborated with fitness expert Obi Obadike on the book The Cut, emphasizing exercise and nutrition rather than miracle solutions. Genetics and professional grooming undoubtedly matter too, and photographs should never be treated as scientific measurements of aging. His stability away from Hollywood's cameras is equally notable. Chestnut married Pam Bice in 1995 and they have 2 children. While many celebrity stories become dominated by personal turmoil, Chestnut has generally maintained a comparatively private family life. More than 30 years have passed since Ricky ran across the screen in Boys and the Hood. Morris Chestnut is naturally older, but the transformation is surprisingly subtle. Perhaps his greatest secret is not defeating age at all, it is decades of consistency, discipline, and taking care of the person behind the famous face. Bianca Lawson. If anyone belongs near the top of a list about black celebrities who appear to age unusually slowly, Bianca Lawson has an extraordinary case. Born in Los Angeles in 1979, Lawson began acting professionally while still young, appearing in Saved by the Bell, The New Class during the early 1990s. She later appeared in Sister Buffy, The Vampire Slayer, and Dawson's Creek. But something unusual happened. As the years passed, Lawson kept being cast as teenagers long after she had stopped being one herself. That phenomenon became almost legendary among television fans. Lawson played high school student Maya St. Germain on Pretty Little Liars, beginning in 2010 when she was already in her early 30s. She later portrayed Marin Morell in Teen Wolf before taking on the much more adult role of Darla Sutton in Queen Sugar. Looking across those performances reveals why audiences have joked for years that Bianca simply refuses to age. Of course, she does age. The striking part is how subtly her appearance has changed across decades. There is no credible evidence of anything mysterious happening. Genetics, skincare, lifestyle, makeup, lighting, and naturally youthful facial features provide far more reasonable explanations than the playful immortal theories found online. Lawson also comes from an entertainment family. Her father is actor Richard Lawson, and through his former marriage to Tina Knowles, Bianca was once connected by marriage to Beyoncé and Solange Knowles. But Bianca established her own acting resume long before that family connection existed. Her career gives viewers something rare, an unusually long visual record of the same face across different eras of television. From teenage roles in the 1990s to sophisticated adult performances decades later, the years are visible but astonishingly gentle. Bianca Lawson never stopped aging. She simply made aging look so subtle that television audiences turned it into part of her legend. Halle Berry. Halle Berry has spent decades being photographed under Hollywood's unforgiving spotlight, making her longevity particularly remarkable. Born in Cleveland, Ohio in 1966, Berry emerged nationally after beauty pageant success and early acting roles before establishing herself in films during the 1990s. From Boomerang and The Flintstones to Bulworth, audiences watched her develop from a rising actress into a major star. Compare photographs from those years with images of Berry today, and although maturity is visible, many of the features that made her instantly recognizable remain strikingly unchanged. Her career only grew bigger with age. Berry portrayed Storm in the X-Men franchise and delivered an acclaimed performance in Monsters Ball. In 2002, that role made her the first black woman to win the Academy Award for Best Actress, a historic achievement that remains central to her legacy. Berry's life, however, has not been effortless. She has publicly discussed living with diabetes and has maintained a strong focus on fitness and nutrition. She regularly shares elements of her workouts and wellness philosophy, but her appearance should not be reduced to one food exercise product or supposed anti-aging trick. Genetics, long-term physical conditioning, skincare, professional styling, and the resources available to major celebrities can all play roles. What makes Berry compelling for older viewers is not simply that she looks youthful. They have watched her life unfold across decades, career triumphs, relationships, motherhood disappointments, and reinvention. Hollywood has changed enormously since Berry first became famous, yet she continues acting, producing, directing, and appearing on red carpets with the confidence of someone who no longer needs to prove she belongs there. Time has certainly moved forward. Halle Berry has moved with it. And perhaps that is why her beauty remains so memorable. She does not look frozen in the past, she looks like someone who has carried the best of every era forward. Lawrence Tate. Lawrence Tate has one of those Hollywood faces that seems to make decades feel strangely short. Born in Chicago in 1975. Tate began acting as a child before gaining major attention as O-Dog in the Hughes brothers' 1993 film Menace to Society. His performance was frighteningly intense, yet away from the character audiences saw a young actor with smooth features and unmistakable charisma. More than 3 decades later, photographs of Tate from that period compared with recent appearances can make the passage of time seem remarkably subtle. His career continued through memorable projects including Dead Presidents, Love Jones, Why Do Fools Fall in Love, A Man Apart Crash, and Television's Power. For many longtime fans, Love Jones remains especially important. Tate's portrayal of Darius Lovehall opposite Nia Long helped make the 1997 film a beloved piece of black romantic cinema. Seeing the two stars decades later only strengthens the nostalgia because both remain immediately recognizable. Tate's youthful appearance has naturally inspired jokes about whether he ages at all, but there is no mysterious explanation that can responsibly be presented as fact. Genetics, fitness, grooming, skincare, professional styling, and lifestyle can all influence appearance. Tate has also generally avoided the kind of constant public turmoil that can overwhelm a long Hollywood career. His personal life has remained comparatively private. He married Thomasina Perrott in 2006, and they have built a family while Tate continued working steadily rather than chasing every available spotlight. That consistency may be the most impressive part of his story. The teenager audiences remember as O-Dog became a husband, father, producer, and veteran performer, but somehow the face remained remarkably familiar. Larenz Tate has certainly aged, yet after more than 30 years on screen time appears to have treated him with extraordinary kindness. Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union has been a familiar face for decades, yet comparing photographs from the beginning of her career with recent appearances often produces the same reaction. How has so much time passed? Born in Omaha, Nebraska in 1972, Union began appearing on television during the 1990s with roles in shows including Moesha, Sister Sister, and Seventh Heaven. Film audiences soon recognized her from She's All That, 10 Things I Hate About You, and especially Bring It On in 2000, where she played Isis, the confident captain of the East Compton Clovers. Union continued building a substantial career through movies, including Deliver Us from Eva, Bad Boys, Think Like a Man, and Think Like a Man Too. Television later gave her another defining role as Mary Jane Paul in Being Mary Jane. Across those projects, hairstyles and fashion changed dramatically, but Union's youthful features remained remarkably consistent. Her life behind the photographs has included difficult experiences that make her confidence today more meaningful. Union has spoken openly about surviving sexual assault when she was young, fertility struggles, miscarriages, and her journey toward motherhood. She married former NBA star Dwyane Wade in 2014, and their daughter, Kavya, was born via gestational surrogate in 2018. Union has discussed skincare, hydration, exercise, and wellness over the years. Still, no single routine can scientifically explain why one person appears younger than another. Genetics, lifestyle, professional beauty care, makeup, lighting, and photography all contribute. Perhaps the most compelling difference between Gabrielle Union then and now is not found in her face at all. The young actress audiences discovered during the 1990s became an established performer, producer, author, wife, mother, and advocate. The years changed her life enormously. Visually, however, Gabrielle Union remains astonishingly recognizable. Ernie Hudson provides perhaps the most surprising comparison on this list because his youthful appearance is accompanied by remarkable physical fitness well into his later years. Born in Benton Harbor, Michigan in 1945, Hudson spent years building an acting career before becoming internationally recognizable as Winston Zeddemore in the 1984 blockbuster Ghostbusters. Unlike the original 3 Ghostbusters introduced earlier in the film, Winston entered the team as an ordinary man looking for employment, and Hudson's grounded performance helped make the character beloved. He returned in Ghostbusters 2 and continued building a remarkably durable career through films and television including The Crow Congo, Oz, Miss Congeniality, and many other projects. Decades later, Hudson returned to the franchise in Ghostbusters Afterlife and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. For viewers who remember him from the 1980s and 1990s, seeing him physically fit and energetic in his later years can be genuinely startling. Hudson's life also includes a serious health chapter. He has publicly discussed surviving prostate cancer after receiving an early diagnosis, and he later faced rectal cancer. Those experiences make his later focus on health and fitness especially meaningful. His appearance has generated widespread attention as photographs of his physique circulated online. Hudson has discussed maintaining exercise, paying attention to what he eats, and remaining active. But his appearance should not be presented as proof of a magical anti-aging formula. Genetics and professional grooming matter alongside long-term lifestyle choices. There is something particularly emotional about Hudson's longevity. Many actors become permanently associated with the decade that made them famous. Hudson kept moving forward. More than 40 years after audiences first watched Winston put on a proton pack, Ernie Hudson is still working, still appearing in major productions, and still surprising fans who cannot believe how gracefully the years have treated him. Sanaa Lathan. Sanaa Lathan became one of the defining faces of black cinema. Around the turn of the millennium and decades later, that face remains remarkably familiar. Born in New York City in 1971, Lathan came from a creative family. Her father, Stan Lathan, became a respected television director and producer, while her mother, Eleanor McCoy, worked as an actress and dancer. Sanaa built her own credentials through education and theater before Hollywood audiences began recognizing her in films including Blade and The Best Man. Then came Love and Basketball in 2000. As Monica Wright, Lathan portrayed a woman pursuing professional basketball while navigating a complicated lifelong romance with Quincy McCall, played by Omar Epps. The performance became one of her signature roles, and the film developed into a beloved classic. Compare Lathan's appearance as Monica with photographs more than 2 decades later, and the resemblance remains striking. Her career never depended on one movie. Lathan appeared in Brown Sugar, Alien vs. Predator, Something New, The Family That Prays, and The Best Man, Holiday, while also building extensive television and voice acting credits. She later moved behind the camera, making her feature directorial debut with On the Come Up in 2022. Like others on this list, Lathan has been surrounded by playful online comments about seemingly refusing to age. Those jokes should remain jokes. There is no credible evidence of a secret capable of stopping biological aging. Genetics, wellness habits, skincare, makeup, lighting, and professional presentation all influence how celebrities appear publicly. What photographs cannot capture is everything that happened between them. Lathan evolved from a promising young actress into an experienced performer and filmmaker. More than 2 decades after Monica Wright captured audiences' hearts, Sanaa Lathan has matured, but the warm smile and unmistakable presence that made her memorable remain beautifully familiar. Regina Hall. Regina Hall is one of those performers whose career makes the passage of time surprisingly difficult to believe. Born in Washington, D.C. in 1970, Hall did not become a major Hollywood name as a teenager. She earned a master's degree in journalism before acting became her professional path, and that relatively late arrival makes her longevity even more fascinating. After early television work and a role in The Best Man in 1999, she reached a much wider audience as Brenda Meeks in Scary Movie in 2000. Her comic timing made Brenda a fan favorite, and Hall returned for several sequels. Compare photographs from those films with her appearances more than 2 decades later, and the resemblance is striking. But Hall never allowed youthful looks to become her only calling card. She moved between comedy and drama through projects such as Think Like a Man, The Best Man Holiday Girls Trip, Support the Girls, and Honk for Jesus, Save Your Soul. Her acclaimed performance in Support the Girls earned her the New York Film Critics Circle Award for Best Actress, demonstrating how far she had evolved beyond the broad comedy that first made her famous. Hall has occasionally discussed wellness and skincare, but claims that any celebrity has discovered a secret capable of stopping aging should be treated as entertainment rather than science. Genetics, lifestyle, professional skincare, makeup, lighting, and photography can all influence how someone appears. Perhaps what makes Hall seem especially youthful is her energy. The humor and expressiveness audiences saw during the Scary Movie era remain recognizable today. More than 25 years after her early breakthrough, Regina Hall has matured from an emerging actress into a respected Hollywood veteran. The resume has changed dramatically. The confidence has deepened, yet when old and new photographs are placed together, time appears to have left an unexpectedly gentle mark. Patti LaBelle. Patti LaBelle has been performing for so long that her career stretches across generations, yet her energy has often seemed remarkably resistant to time. Born Patricia Louise Holte in Philadelphia, in 1944, she first found success with Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells before becoming the unmistakable lead voice of LaBelle. In 1974, the group released Lady Marmalade, which reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and became one of the defining recordings of the decade. After LaBelle separated in 1976, Patti built a formidable solo career rather than disappearing with the group. By the 1980s and 1990s, songs such as If Only You Knew, New Attitude, Stir It Up, and On My Own, her #1 duet with Michael McDonald, had established LaBelle as an enduring solo star. Look at footage of Patti from those decades and compare it with her later performances. Naturally, she has aged, but the smile, glamorous presentation, expressive personality, and extraordinary stage energy remain unmistakably hers. Her longevity becomes even more impressive considering the personal losses she endured. LaBelle lost multiple family members at relatively young ages, including her sisters, while continuing to perform. She has also publicly discussed living with diabetes, a diagnosis that encouraged her to pay closer attention to her health and diet. Still, there is no reason to transform her appearance into a supernatural anti-aging story. Professional beauty care, styling, genetics, lifestyle, and the way someone carries themselves can all shape public perception. Perhaps Patti LaBelle's real form of youthfulness has always come from somewhere deeper. She continues to perform with the theatrical energy of someone who genuinely loves being on stage. More than 6 decades after beginning her recording journey, Patti is not frozen in time. She has simply carried her unmistakable spirit through it, and for longtime fans, that may be even more impressive. Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight was already making music professionally before many of today's biggest stars were born, yet decades later, the elegance audiences associate with her remains instantly recognizable. Born in Atlanta in 1944, Knight displayed extraordinary talent from childhood and eventually became the commanding voice of Gladys Knight and the Pips. Their recordings included enduring classics such as Neither One of Us Wants to Be the First to Say Goodbye, If I Were Your Woman, and the 1973 #1 hit Midnight Train to Georgia. By the time the group ended its run in the late 1980s, Knight had already spent decades in the business. She then continued as a solo performer, proving that her identity extended far beyond the Pips. Her career accumulated Grammy Awards, major television appearances, tours, and honors, while her voice retained much of the warmth and emotional control that made her famous. Visually, Knight's longevity is equally striking. Compare photographs from the 1980s or 1990s with appearances many years later, and the same radiant smile and composed presence remain easy to recognize. But one claim from the original transcript needs correction. Reports once suggested Knight had battled breast cancer, yet her representatives clarified in 2018 that she had not been diagnosed with breast cancer. That detail should therefore never be repeated as fact. Knight has nevertheless experienced the natural challenges and losses that come with a long life in the public eye. Through them, she continued performing rather than retreating permanently from the stage. There is no scientific evidence that Gladys Knight possesses some mysterious formula for stopping time. Genetics, healthcare, styling, skincare, and lifestyle all contribute to appearance. What photographs reveal more clearly is continuity. The young woman who once commanded the pips became an elder stateswoman of soul without losing the warmth audiences recognized decades earlier. Time changed the world around Gladys Knight, but somehow her grace remained remarkably familiar. After decades in the spotlight, these stars remind us that aging doesn't look the same for everyone. From Angela Bassett and Halle Berry to Pharrell Williams, Bianca Lawson, and Morris Chestnut, the years have passed, careers have evolved, and lives have changed, yet their familiar faces continue to amaze generations of fans. Is it genetics, disciplined living, great skincare, professional care, or simply good fortune? Perhaps the real answer is a combination of everything. But now, the debate belongs to you. Which celebrity on this list has changed the least, and who shocked you most when you discovered their real age? Share your choice in the comments below. Subscribe to Golden Black Legends, and join us as we continue celebrating the unforgettable Black icons, whose talent, beauty, and legacy continue to stand the test of time.